All right, let's go ahead and get into this. So, this is the weekly market recap for the trading week ending August 7th, 2026. All of the information will be provided by Yahoo Finance. We're going to cover what happened in the markets and some general thoughts, and then we'll go over a couple of articles as well. So I'm going to be covering the first four things I cover are Vanguard funds. I'm not telling anybody to buy these. They're just the funds I'm familiar with because I worked there for 13 years. But they also cover the entire world stock and bond market. So the first fund we're going to cover is the Total US Stock Market Index ETF, or VTI, was up 3.69%. The Total International Stock Fund, or VXUS, was up 3.10%. So stocks rock and rolled this week. So if your stock portfolio did not perform this well, we should probably talk about why that happened and if you are comfortable and happy with the returns you got this week. The Total US Bond Market Index Fund, or BND, was up 0.24, and the Total International Bond Index Fund, or BNDX, was up 0.23%. So if you had a broadly diversified worldwide portfolio, you were probably up this week and up pretty nice. Now, it's hard to know exactly why stocks go up, stocks go down. I'm not sure, if there was news that people say pushes it up over the edge. But in reality, a lot of the time, no news is good news for the markets. Whatever's going on with Iran could push it up or down. And we'll get to oil here in a few minutes, but sometimes that helps. But you never know what is going to push the market up or down. The most you can do is understand why you own what you own and own it through all of the ups and downs. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at gold. Gold was up 8.7%, almost 9% on gold. Silver was up almost 11%, insane. And copper was up 2.32%. So the precious metals this week performed really well. Also, not 100% sure why that happened. Nobody is. There's always going to be, oh, because of this, but you really don't know what's going to drive investors to take certain actions. But all of these things were up over the week. It's kind of wild. This has been a great performance week for most things, most traditional things. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a little bit different. It is open 24/7. So this 5-day mark is literally, as of right now, you could see it on the screen there at 10:50 p.m. UTC. It's for the 5 days, it's down 2%. Bitcoin is a tough one. People call it digital gold or other things like that. It's really difficult to understand why Bitcoin does what it does. So make sure you understand why you own Bitcoin in your portfolio so that you can kind of stomach the moves and the volatility within it. All right, let's take a look at oil. Oil dropped 8.96%. Oil is interesting. As oil goes up, gas prices move up almost immediately. As oil comes down, gas prices do not come down immediately. That feels like it shouldn't be allowed, but that is the world that we live in today. So oil was down. It could continue. It could go up. A lot of it depends on what's going to happen and what happens with Iran. So that is the weekly market recap for the major funds and things that we look at. The most important thing about your portfolio is that you understand why you are in things. A broad-based portfolio gets you invested in the whole world. If you own it at an allocation that makes sense based on your time horizon and risk tolerance, then you're probably not too worried about what's going to happen today, this month, this year even. We're talking, 10, 15, 30 years down the road is when that stuff becomes important. But even then, it's really for the rest of your life. So with all of your investments, make sure you understand what the goal is, the time horizon and the risk tolerance. That way, you're not going to be emotionally affected as much by what happens on day to day with the markets. All right. So that is the weekly market recap.